What up? What up? What up, world? We're finally back. I'm finally back.
You're
Anthony's here with me. Get Right Fantasy Network. We're going to cover another 12-team Superflex PPR Redraft. I'm excited. I want to get right into it. Let's jump into the intro. All right, guys, my sleeves are rolled all the way up. Like I said, Anthony's here with me. We're going to be grading the most recent draft. This one went down on May 7th. So want to appreciate, honestly, like we're getting a lot of good feedback from these videos. That's why we were continuing to do more. We plan to do a lot more. We appreciate all the new guys, everybody liking, subscribing. If you guys haven't yet, please take a chance. Other than that, my selfless plug is out there.
It is. Let's jump
right into the video. Let's start it off. Wilson 27. If I can go first, you already know what my grade's gonna be. I see your logo. I see your Steelers fan. No love. Hey, you're getting no love from me, my man. I jumped this one off. Let me get this exactly. Yeah, you actually had a good draft. Good draft. Hey, I love the draft.
You tried to give him a bad grade.
Hey, with a different logo, I'd probably be giving you an A-. With the logo that you have, for sure, a solid, not even a solid D. You're a D and a half. You're almost a D-. What'd you give him, Matt? Say this, man.
No, yeah. So shout out to Wilson 27. He's a newer regular coming around, very involved with us on Twitter. So we appreciate you, all the feedback. He really wants to get in the listener league here. So, he's definitely pumping the show and trying to get us some more subscribers. But I gave my man here a B+. I think it was a very solid draft. Yeah. And, reason being is just because of the quarterback situation. He did, grab 4 quarterbacks, which is what I did like. But another thing also too was the running back situation. So, he has Chris Carson, obviously, he has James Robinson. But, with ETN there, that's going to be more like a committee now. And then after that, his only other running back that he has is David Johnson. So to me, that's what, takes it out of the A range. And because, of course, he has Mahomes and Burrow and, Metcalf and Carson. Again, his receiving core is solid. So I can't give him, anything less than a B+. But he just loses out on that A because of that running back depth.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I think he was very strong at quarterback. I think Joe Burrow is going to do the same thing. 50, we might even see 60 passes a game. So I think that's solid. Next, we got JCleev jumping it off with Christian McCaffrey. Would you score this, man?
Yeah, so shout out to JCleev. I gave him a solid B. Similar kind of construction to Wilson. But to me, although his, running backs are a lot stronger, his quarterbacks are weaker overall. And he also doesn't have really any running back depth behind McCaffrey and Akers. So as long as he makes it into the playoffs and this team, his starters are healthy, I think it's a very strong team. I wouldn't want to play against this team, in the playoffs because by then Hurts and Tua are going to have, a full year under their belts and, their potential could be, pretty high at that point. So again, I can't, drop it, any lower than that. But again, it just kind of scares me getting through there. He's kind of one injury away, like a McCaffrey going down to, not even making the playoffs. So I do give it a solid B though.
Yeah, I gave my man a C kind of for the same reasons. Obviously, he's really good at wide receiver. I like his picks that he did. The second year quarterback's kind of what held me down for him. But overall, he could have a very scary team without injury. Very scary team. That's all I'll give him. I feel like I was being nice and I give him a C. I'm feeling nice. I don't even do C's today, or I don't even do B's, D's. But today, I felt like I was going to switch it up a little bit. So be prepared, everybody.
It's like all you're giving out.
Hey, Falamos.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. So correct if we're wrong. At this point, Get Right has gone international. My man Falamos here is from Mexico, I believe he said. So shout out to him. I know he's looking
Right.
forward to this video. So we're gonna grade his draft here. So what'd you give him?
Well, you're not gonna like me. No.
Most people
Hey,
don't, Falamos. Don't worry.
hey, it's all right, dude. I give your grades a little higher emphasis every show, so you'll do better next time. Falamos, I gave you a C. I feel like you were late on quarterback, late on tight end. I'm not a Dallas Goedert fan because he went to Philly. So like put him in a different jersey to be a better player. Cowboys were going after him. But yeah, I mean, not great, not bad. Obviously, you got two solid running backs, and then came back with two receivers that I never speak highly of. And I don't want to say it again, but Carson Wentz. If you watch our shows, you know how I feel about that guy, and my Oscar still stands. Anyways,
It's still
what
out
did you
there.
give him?
Yeah, no, my man Falamos here. I also gave him a C. I respect the fact that he came out and tried a zero QB strategy. Kind of didn't work too well. I think he got off to a great start, but you can just see kind of how much better his team would be as if he would have grabbed those two running backs and then came back and just grabbed two quarterbacks there. No quarterback went in the third round, so he could have easily grabbed, a Matt Ryan, and Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, a Stafford. Easily got one of those guys, and then even got a second guy possibly after that. Made Wentz's QB2, and then still got the same tier of receiver just a couple rounds later. And so you're still going to get a Deontay Johnson type player down there. You can get a Robert Woods. There's guys down there that have good potential wide receiver value, especially in a PPR league, to where I don't think you really just need to take those receivers that early. Just definitely not Ridley and Godwin. So again, I just say sure up the QB is a little better there. And, if you're going to try to pull that zero QB, you have to have a lot of things kind of fall the right way.
Yeah. So moving on.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad grade. Hey, I'll say.
No,
You gave him
it's average. Yeah. I mean, it could work, and there's definitely, things he can do. Just know.
But
really,
that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's why you practice. So we're getting it done.
I'm tossing out my first A.
Hey.
Dank Moody. I like what you did here. You started off very strong, two solid quarterbacks to jump it off. Joe Money Mixon, who has tons of upside. I do think the only thing I would say on this team, he might need a little bit more running back depth come later. But I've talked very highly on Cohen. I think Carter's going to be a sleeper this year. And you're getting Myles Gaskin. I like your team. It's pretty solid the way it is.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I gave it an A. Not really too much you can nitpick about it. Pulled off the, high end quarterbacks right away. Definitely got, nice running backs there as far as value with a, deadly receiving core. And, again, I would say to get a little, to get it into an A plus, you definitely want a better, QB3. Maybe I kind of maybe bump it down now to an A minus now that I kind of see it's really Taysom Hill. There is his QB3. But again, at the same time, he could take over. So again, you don't really need him for that starting lineup. I wouldn't want to see this lineup, in the playoffs. So that's why I still give it an A.
See, and I think I would have taken Cam Newton there. I feel like Falamos got a good pick right there with Cam Newton, one of the most solid last round picks that are out there. But yeah, no, that's a solid grade. That was an A. Your boy Ethan, you made me change my whole grading system. Like I said, I wasn't giving out these middle grades. There were no B's, were no D's. You gave me a B draft, which is pretty good in my book. I liked your team. So even just to break it down, I think Bateman is a solid pick. I think me and Anthony have already talked about that. he went in there and he's probably going to be the Ravens' #1 receiver right there. Laviska Shenault, like sleeper. I think we're still sleeping on this year. I don't like Cousins, not a huge fan of Cousins, but I mean, you got a pretty solid team here for sure.
Man, well, this is the one where we go kind of really completely opposite. Your boy Ethan, shout out for coming out and drafting with us. But again, and don't take this the wrong way, we're here to give you some tough love. No, I gave him a D. I gave him a D, man. He has no QB3 on his team at all. I think that's detrimental. He took 2 top tight ends, really early, and didn't come around and get that, QB3. And again, like you said, I love the Bateman pick. I love the Connor picks. There were a lot of good picks in there. But again, I just think, without having that third QB, I can't give you, to me, if you get 3 just basic QBs, that's at least a C. That's average in a Superflex league. If you don't get 3 on your roster, even a Taysom Hill, at least somebody like that, a project, something, you need a third quarterback, to fill in case one of your quarterbacks go down or you lose their job, mid-season. So you have to be aware of those things. So I give it a D.
I mean, if you could get Waller off in the later rounds or Kelsey and you're just going to eat from that, like, hey, you can make it happen. Next, we're going to
you could trade.
The Bears.
Yeah, the Bears PL. I wonder what the PL stands for. Let us know. It's very interesting.
Yeah. The Bears PL. So
pot limit? I don't know. I'm a poker player. Pot limit.
There was something about this that it's not just the Big Ben pick. I gave you a D+, C- within that range. Little tough rankings, but you went very late to go quarterback. Your first quarterback's Trevor Lawrence. Then you got a rapist as your number 2 quarterback. It was something about the team. I couldn't wrap my head around. I do think he got a solid core of receivers. He's got decent running backs. Like, it's a solid team, but you're just going to hurt at the quarterback position, and it's going to be brutal, especially in the Superflex.
He doesn't have a solid core of receivers. He just has a solid team of receivers. He has 7 of 13 picks in a draft used on receivers, which is by far the deepest position in this year's draft.
Yeah.
With that said, I mean, I gave him a C-. I mean, I should probably drop it down to that D+, just like I said, with only having 2 quarterbacks, on the team. And again, it's just, if you can get the team through it, I think he has a lot of talent up top, which is why he kind of stayed out of that D range for me. I mean, he has Barkley, he has Hopkins, he has Michael Thomas, he has Evans, and he does have Lawrence and Big Ben and as his receiver or his quarterback. So it's not that, it's not that bad. But again, not having a third quarterback to me is just detrimental to your Superflex team. So make that happen and get a higher draft grade, or get some trading going on.
So you drop my man from a C- to a D+. We'll check this out.
Back up to a C-.
To a C. I'm moving him up to a C. After all this discussion, hey, I'm moving him back. Steelers and Jacksonville, they're both going to get blown out every single game. They're going to be throwing the ball like crazy. Maybe he knows something we don't. He picked probably the 2 worst teams in the NFL for next year, who are going to be quarterbacking. They're going to be down by 50 points a game. I've already been calling that Lawrence is going to really have, just like Joe Burrow, 50 to 60 pass completions a game. Maybe not completions, attempts for sure. So, hey, I move you up. I changed my mind. Hey, but next, AwkwardSharkDad. Hey, I can't hate on anything my man did. I'm tossing you an A from your first pick all the way to 13th pick. Pretty damn solid. I like it.
Nice. Very nice. I gave him a B. My only thing is I'm not a fan of taking a tight end that early. I think he could have done a lot better there. and also just his running
What?
back, and just kind of his running backs are a little suspect, which is why he drops out of that A
No.
range for me. So I think he could have taken, somebody else besides Jacobs there. Obviously taking like Gibson or Najee or somebody like that, I think, would have definitely put him in the A range. But otherwise, it's definitely a solid team. Receivers are solid. I would personally be starting ETN and Elliott probably week 1. I'm just worried about having, Jacobs and Alexander Madison as my RB 3 and 4. So that's why you're at a B. In my opinion. It's okay.
Hey, the
Don't
disrespect.
let me persuade
We
you.
know why. Hey, we know why, because he got Matt Ryan on his team, and we know what you feel about Matt Ryan.
No,
That's
I
the
think
only
it was
reason
great.
AwkwardSharkDad. He's a Matt Ryan hater. Just like
I
I
gave
don't
him a
like
B.
you,
That's
man.
not bad. I just gave people D's and like C minuses, man. B is a good grade for me tonight.
That's a solid one.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What'd you think
You
about?
gotta. He has no RB3. He has no RB3. Tell me.
Riding around in a Rover.
What up? What up?
What'd you give him, man?
East Coast man, staying up late for these Friday night mocks. Sometimes he has to let his last couple picks go auto draft because he falls out right at the end, but we respect it. Draft until the wee AMs in the morning. So that's dedication right there. Gave my man here. B plus, man. B plus.
You're so just stingy with the A.
Yeah, I expect a lot out of these guys. I mean, I've given Riding Around in a Rover an A plus, and so if you've come out with an A plus draft, I'm not just gonna willy nilly just keep giving you A pluses just because of that. If you're not gonna get an A plus every time you draft, there's gonna be always things you can do better. Hindsight 2020. And again, I'm not saying I would have done better, in that position. I think he starts off. Yeah, I think he starts off great. I mean, you can't argue with any of his picks. I just think right here when he gets into that 5th round, to me going receiver there, I think if he goes, running back, his team, fits out a little better. And I was actually kind of shocked he didn't go like a Kyle Pitts or somebody there. I think when I was doing my live stream, I kind of predicted him to take a tight end in that spot because that's what he has done in his previous drafts. Not that I'm paying attention or anything. But he kind of shocked me. I was actually kind of scared he was going to grab Mostert out from under me, knowing that I like him, so much. And then, he gave me a hard time for not taking ETN, but he didn't take him himself. So, I had to drop him down to a B plus because of that. But I mean, it's still a solid team.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sticking with my A, but enough of being the nice guy. Jumping into this next team.
See?
I mean, it didn't take me long at all where I was like, dude, F minus, like easiest grade I've ever given in my life.
And just move on.
All right, here's where we're gonna start. Najee. Najee's done for going to the Steelers. We all know how big of a fan I was before this, and he went to the one team that I can't give my man any credit. So I mean, it's just over there.
He's dead to me.
Obviously, you're solid at the Dak Prescott, Tom Brady. I love Mostert. See, I was laughing at the Julio Jones pick. That was very surprising of you. I never would have expected that. DJ Chark, I really like that pick. Claypool, hit or miss. Davis with the steal. I mean, your team is decent. In a dynasty, when you get to keep Trey Lance, I mean, I could see I would give you a little more potential. But just because that, and just because it's you and your logo, like F minus for sure. You could do better.
See, I think this is one of the better drafts I've done. I think I've given myself C pluses until this time. I actually went ahead and give myself an A. I think I was doing really good in this draft up until the 10th round when I took Randall Moore. I think I should have taken a different, person there, maybe even a Zach Wilson or Ben Roethlisberger. Is kind of who I was leaning, towards, especially since I did have Claypool and Najee there. It would have been a nice little kind of stack, obviously, of the wrong team, for Dustin. But I kind of went ahead and went with a lottery pick there, and I, obviously panicked and went, Goff and Lance. after that, just for that potential. And then, as you guys know, I'm taking my tight end 14th if I can in a 13 round team. But I guess you do have to you do have to take a tight end. So I just grabbed my guy that I have a gentleman's bet on and went with my guy there because I'm streaming tight end every week. It doesn't matter. I'm basically at this point trying to trade for Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, or Pitts because I know those guys are going to be taken super early. Those guys are going to be hurting for what I have as far as quarterbacks and running backs.
And that's why you get an F. That's why you're getting an F in my book.
I'll have that. I'll have one of those guys by the end of the year. Not anybody in this league, obviously, who watches us, but you know, doing these shows kind of ruin that stuff. I need to stop talking
about that. Hey, you earned every bit of that F grade. Then I get right back to being nice. Bacon 12. I already love the name. Dude, I think he made you look silly right there when he took Miles Sanders after you took Najee. You got a lot of faith in that guy. Bacon, I wanted to say, all right, your quarterbacks, you could have did a little better. Hey, but how can you hate on Minshew? How can you hate on Mayfield? Like, you know, hey.
Easily. Baker, I can say easily on Minshew, he's not playing ahead of Trevor Lawrence. So that's number one.
There's no quarterbacks with more swag than those two.
Yeah, but swag doesn't score you fantasy points. My man went on an auto draft here, I believe, after the Rojo or Beckham pick, somewhere around there. You know, if you guys watched the live stream, you guys saw when that happened. But yeah, I'm not even gonna give this team a grade. The guy went on an auto draft, and that was it. So
no
we don't like auto drafters here. I'm ready to move on.
All right. Well, he's still a lot of good players with this auto draft. Our boy Calbeck.
What'd you give Calbeck?
I wanted to drop my man an A. I'm not a Tannehill fan. He kind of. I gave him a C. Sorry, man.
What? All right, Ethan, I got your back, buddy. I got you.
Sorry, Ethan.
I'll drop you that A that you deserve, man. This is a nice draft. He's coming with Eckler, Jackson, Montgomery. You guys know my affinity for AJ Brown, who now moves ahead of Devontae Adams with all this Aaron Rodgers news.
Yeah.
Check out our rankings, getright.ff.com/rankings.
I know he's going to tear me up for my pick.
Yeah, and then he stacks it with Tannehill. Then he goes CeeDee Lamb, Sutton, Javonte Williams, who could potentially be the running back, one over there, or at least be the passing back there. Where he loses me just a bit, why he misses out on the A+, of course, because he goes Tanyan here. I don't think Tanyan's worth taking this early. I think he could have been better off taking like a Derek Carr, a Zach Wilson, a Roethlisberger, one of these other quarterbacks, or even any other position there besides a tight end, and he would have got that A+ for me. And then he doubled down and took 2 tight ends. So I might even want to drop him down maybe to an A- because of that. But I do love the St. Brown pick. I love the Damian Harris, but you could have got that. You could have got an A+ if you didn't make that Tanyan pick and just stuck with either Tanyan or Cook down, or just Cook in the 13th, and he would have been fine. But yeah, all in all, I like the team. I'd roll with it. I'd flex with that team.
Nah, if you're dropping him to an A-, I'm giving my man an A+. Just hey,
from a C to an A+, just like that.
Because my next one's gonna, hey, I'm gonna feel mean. OwHouseActual. All right.
Yeah, apologize if I mispronounced that on my stream. Help us out there.
I gave my man 2 grades. If Watson does play, I'll toss you a C. If he doesn't,
that was his first auto pick.
It's going to be a solid F.
He only picked his first 4 picks and then went on an auto draft. He said he had a family emergency with his daughter, so we wish them the best. Hope everything's okay there. He apologized, said he wants to get back in next week. So we'll definitely hold a spot open for you, so you can get back in here and show us what you got. He did know it was a super flex. He said he was going to try to make a fool of himself, is what he was saying in the chat. But he just wanted to go ahead and try his kind of zero QB strategy. I thought he was off to a pretty good start with Taylor Diggs and Dobbins and Jefferson. and I was really interested to, see who he might get. There were, some quarterbacks, still out there, but for the most part, after the fourth round, most of those, kind of top, 12, top 15 quarterbacks were out of there. But he could have still ended up with, like a Tua or even a, Trevor Lawrence, and a Kirk Cousins, a Sam Darnold. There's still, some guys down there. Again, even a Winston, even later, that he could have still, made this team be something to, mess with in the playoffs. So I'd love to get you back, next week, and let's see what you got.
Yeah. Hey, so after what you said, we hope everything's good with your family. Now I'm going to change my grades. I'm still going to give you 2 grades for your first 4 to 5 picks. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. I'm going to toss you a B, and then I'm giving the computer an F for the rest of it, because
this is basically
there's
what
not
happened.
one person. Yeah, there's not one person on there that I'm.
Except for Irv Smith, which sucked because that's who I was going to take. But the computer, he's moving up the ADP apparently, so we got to stop filming the show. I got to stop drafting him. That's why I'm drafting Clement now. I don't want Irv Smith's stock to rise too high here, guys.
It's not rising in my book.
Good.
I will say this.
Good.
We'll leave Deshaun Watson out of this. If I drafted my whole team and Daniel Jones and Down were out on the bench, I don't think I'd waste a waiver on any of those guys. Maybe Kenyon Drake. Hey, computer did you dirty, my man. Hey, but again, we appreciate everybody. If you guys want to get into our Friday night mock drafts or just get into mocks, sometimes we do them kind of sporadically and just random days of the week. Hit us up on Twitter. If you haven't already, make sure you're on our YouTube. We've linked with people on there to get them into drafts. So we appreciate all you guys for hopping on. We look forward to the next one. Anthony, always thank you for being here. Sorry you had such a horrible draft and we had to break it down.
Best draft ever. That's how you draft, guys. Just look at it.
Best draft ever.
Take notes.
Hey, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace out, guys.